Israel and Iran have been locked in a bitter rivalry for decades, but recent developments have taken the situation to a whole new level. Tensions are no longer just political, they are inching dangerously close to open conflict. Israel, knowing the risk, is not sitting back. It is scaling its military, enhancing its defense systems, and preparing for any possible confrontation. The big question is, why now? What has pushed Israel to take such drastic measures? One of the main reasons is Iran's nuclear program. This has been a concern for years, but now many believe Iran is closer than ever to developing nuclear weapons. Iran insists its nuclear activities are peaceful, but Israel and much of the international community see things differently. A nuclear-armed Iran would shift the balance of power in the Middle East, something Israel is determined to prevent at all costs. Israel has warned repeatedly that it will not allow Iran to reach that stage, and its military preparations suggest it is ready to take action if necessary. But that's not the only issue. Iran has been expanding its influence across the region by supporting various armed groups, often referred to as proxy forces. Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and multiple militias in Syria all receive backing from Iran. These groups are not just allies, they actively work against Israel, launching attacks and threatening its security. For Israel, this isn't just about Iran, it's about the network of forces that surround it, ready to strike. Things escalated significantly when a key meeting involving top Iranian military commanders, Hezbollah representatives, and leaders from the Palestinian Islamic Jihad was struck. This was no ordinary meeting. It was reportedly meant for high-level planning, possibly involving future operations against Israel. The attack on that gathering sent a powerful message. Israel isn't waiting around for its enemies to make the first move. This strike was a turning point, showing how quickly the situation can spiral into direct military action. In response to these threats, Israel has been making major upgrades to its military. The Israeli Air Force is conducting intense drills, preparing for long-range missions that could target Iran's nuclear facilities. These aren't just routine exercises. They are rehearsals for a scenario that Israel sees as increasingly likely. Intelligence operations have also been stepped up, with Israeli agencies tracking Iran's movements more closely than ever. Every piece of information matters in a conflict where one wrong move can change everything. Defense systems are another critical part of Israel's strategy. The Iron Dome, which has successfully intercepted thousands of rockets, is only one layer of protection. Israel has been working on advanced missile defense technology to counter long-range threats, ensuring it is prepared for any type of attack, whether it comes from Iran directly or through its proxies. This focus on defense is not just about protecting Israeli cities, but about creating a security net that makes an all-out war less likely. Meanwhile, the world is watching closely. The United States, Israel's closest ally, has increased its military presence in the Middle East, deploying aircraft carriers and boosting intelligence sharing efforts. This is a clear sign that Washington is taking the situation seriously. At the same time, Iran is showing no signs of backing down. It continues to supply weapons and financial support to its allies, extending its reach beyond its borders. One of the most troubling developments is Iran's role in the Red Sea. The Houthis, a group backed by Iran, have been targeting commercial ships, disrupting global trade routes. This is no longer just a regional conflict, it is affecting economies worldwide. Israel sees this as part of Iran's broader strategy to destabilize and spread its influence, and it is another reason why Israel feels the need to act decisively. Leaked reports have also suggested that Israel has detailed plans for a potential strike on Iran's nuclear facilities. Whether these leaks were intentional or not, they have added to the already high tension. If true, it means Israel isn't just thinking about a possible attack, it is actively preparing for one. And if an attack were to happen, the consequences could be severe. Diplomatic efforts are still ongoing, but many are questioning whether they can prevent a conflict. The United Nations and world powers have been pushing for talks, sanctions, and agreements to curb Iran's nuclear ambitions. Russia has defended Iran's right to a peaceful nuclear program, adding another layer of complexity to international discussions. The United States and Israel continue to hold high-level meetings to coordinate their approach, trying to find a balance between diplomacy and military readiness. If a full-scale war breaks out, the consequences would be devastating. The entire Middle East could be thrown into chaos, leading to a humanitarian crisis with massive casualties and displacement. Global markets would be affected, especially oil prices, which could skyrocket and trigger economic instability. And with Iran's network of allied militias, the conflict wouldn't be limited to just two countries. It could spread rapidly, drawing in other nations and turning into a much larger war. Israel's military strategy is not just about responding to threats, it's about being one step ahead. Over the past year, Israel has worked closely with its allies to improve its intelligence capabilities, including cyber operations designed to disrupt Iran's military and nuclear progress. There have been reports of cyber attacks targeting Iranian nuclear facilities, though Iran has denied the extent of the damage. These cyber operations are an essential part of modern warfare, allowing Israel to weaken Iran's capabilities without direct military engagement. At the same time, Israel has been strengthening its air force with new fighter jets and advanced technology designed for deep penetration strikes. If Israel were to launch an attack on Iran's nuclear facilities, it would need to get past some of the most heavily defended sites in the world. Iran has built its nuclear infrastructure deep underground, protected by layers of anti-air defenses. Israel's military drills suggest it is preparing for this kind of challenge, possibly coordinating with the US on a joint strategy. There's also a growing concern about Iran's influence in Syria. Israel has carried out hundreds of airstrikes in Syria over the past few years, targeting Iranian weapon shipments and military bases. Iran has been trying to establish a stronger military presence in Syria, using it as a base to launch attacks against Israel. This is another reason why Israel is increasing its military readiness. It sees Iran's actions in Syria as a direct threat to its national security. Despite all the preparations, many still hope that diplomacy can prevent an all-out war. Sanctions and negotiations have slowed down Iran's nuclear program in the past, and some experts believe that a new deal could be reached. But trust is low. Israel does not believe Iran will ever fully abandon its nuclear ambitions, and Iran sees Israel as an enemy that must be confronted. With both sides deeply distrustful of each other, the chances of a peaceful resolution seem slim. Right now, Israel is making one thing clear: it will not allow threats to go unchecked. Every military exercise, intelligence operation, and defense upgrade is part of a broader effort to ensure national security. The situation remains unpredictable, and in the coming months, every decision could have lasting consequences. Will diplomacy hold, or is the region heading towards war? One thing is certain: Israel is not waiting for an answer. It is preparing for whatever comes next.